Rick, you ready?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Keith?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. The title of this podcast is called Kindness. It's free and freeing. Uh,
Mm.
this started off many, many years ago with Tim and I. I would probably say, man, 8, 9 years ago, we used to go on ski trips together, and we'd both been doing the practice for this long and working on ourselves. And we just became really aware about being kind. And Tim, he's one of our great friends and, my best friend. And he's been, he's very thoughtful and kind and just super positive. And we came up with this thing that whenever we would do something, we would just look at each other. Like, let's say that we were about to do a car rental, and Tim asked for like an upgrade or a different car. And it all started with just saying, hello, how you doing? How's your day? Thank you so much. And then we get a upgraded car. And we'll look at each other and be like, it's free. It's like kindness. Yep, it's free. It's free. Cost you nothing. Just be kind. And so we just every time, so it became like this inside thing that we'd always do. And it was completely detached from whatever the outcome would be of being kind to someone else. I mean, I just gave an example of where we got an upgraded car, but it was just nothing. It didn't matter what it was. We were always just found ourselves just looking at each other like, it's free. We just kept doing that and saying good morning to somebody, asking your coworker before you leave, is there anything I can do? You're hosted at someone's house for dinner, asking, hey, listen, can I help, put the dishes away or whatever else is completely free. And it's amazing to me the number of people that don't do it. You've been at a restaurant, the server and the staff who are working there, they just become like furniture. You don't even notice them anymore. And if they ask you for your order or something else, you feel almost like they are inconveniencing you by interrupting your conversation or something like that. That's how you see it, as opposed to just taking time to really see people and be present and to say thank you. I mean, that's one of the easiest ways to express gratitude and to be kind. But noticing somebody's name, and when you reply to them, you say, "Hey, thank you, Jeff," or Stacy, or whatever the case may be. It's free, and there are people that are polite, but I think kindness is a step beyond that. It's intentional, of making that human to human connection. And what I found is that when I'm being kind, Rick, when I'm being kind, it frees me. Like it automatically like opens my heart wide. And when I'm polite, that feels more like procedural, something that I've been taught to do as a social norm, please, and things like that. But when I'm being kind, it is intentional and it literally unlocks another dimension of my open heartedness. And it's just such a beautiful thing. I was in a course yesterday in which I heard this speaker before. He's a former physician at Mayo Clinic, and he is really focused on organizational kindness. And so he tells us he talks about this research study in which they were, really looking at the tracking the chemistry, the brain chemistry of children,
Mm.
and when they would ask them to do certain tasks. And so they would give them these goldfish crackers, which are like cookies to kids, apparently. I've never had one, but that's what I've been told. And so what they noticed is what would turn the kids on, what would release endorphins in them, what would be soothing for them. And so they would give them a goldfish, and the first part of the experiment was for them to eat the goldfish themselves, and they would get some measure of pleasure and joy out of it. And then they would bring in another kid, and they would tell them that they had to give it to another kid. So the first one, when they gave it to themselves, they say, this is how much joy they got or pleasure. Then they would say, hey, here's a goldfish. You got to give it to another kid. Then it would go from here to here. And then thirdly, they would give them a choice. They say, here's a goldfish. You can either keep it for yourself or you can give it to another kid. When they didn't keep it for themselves and gave it to another kid, it went this much. And like it opens up another dimension for you. And so, like I said, kindness is free to give it, and it's freeing to you when you give it. I think it's just a beautiful thing. So at Mayo Clinic, when I walk into a room and give a talk, and people say, "You work in well-being, like what do you do?" I said, I sprinkle kindness everywhere. That's my job. Everywhere I go, I sprinkle kindness. So you're going to walk out of here and you're going to see some glitter on your shoulder. That's not glitter, that's kindness. And I said, this is what I do. And I said, before, I used to complain as if it was like breathing. I made a commitment 9 years ago that I wanted to replace that behavior with kindness to make that like breathing. And so employees at Mail will often say, I want a job like yours. I say, you got it. You're just not doing it, but you have a job. So Rick, when you think of this topic, kindness is free and freeing, what comes up for you?
Keith Jones. Keith Jones. Pictures in the dictionary under kindness. I think what you just described, Keith, is exactly a win-win, right? Kindness. It's not only something that is great for another person, partly because it's so dang rare anymore, but it's also wonderful for yourself. When you're kind to somebody else and you have an open heart and you truly are not doing it to get some advantage or some benefit for yourself, that just feels great, like the kids study shows. And I think that that's one of the major contributors to inner peace. The fact that you're kind to other people
Yeah.
only leaves you with a clear conscience, but it also shows that your true intent underneath all of this, what's inside of you, is an intent for others to do well, to wish others well. That's what kindness is. And I guess to show how important this is, it's not a minor thing. The Dalai Lama said in an interview a few years ago when they were talking about religion and Buddhism and the Tibetan problem with China and so forth. He said something that I was shocked to hear. He said, in so many words, forget Buddha for a moment. My religion is not that. My religion is kindness.
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
get this is
Yeah.
a spiritual leader, one of the most magnificent contemporary spiritual leaders that exist on the planet. And he's saying that his religion is not the religion you think it is. His religion is kindness. My God, when you think of the effect that kindness can have in that
Oh,
context,
man.
the spiritual benefit that can come to you and to others that you share it with, it's astounding. And if you just think about that for a little bit, next time you're out on a walk, think about what the effect of kindness is. Meditate on a little bit of kindness. It's a marvelous thing. Hard to do sometimes, we're so busy and they haven't earned it. That's usually what I come up with. What should I be kind to them? Hey, let them prove it that they earned it first. I mean, that's the low level, Rick, that I try to cram down and get rid of. But once you get to the idea that sharing is a win for you, that kindness is a win for you, I think you'll find that it's easier and easier to be kind. You're a great example of that,
Oh,
though,
man,
Keith.
Rick, thank you so much.
Just don't falter.
Yeah, and ToBeRe, it is not an exercise group, really. It's just a group of
Yeah.
people come together, just working on themselves and inspiring each other to do the same. It's amazing that when people come into this space, the people that stay, they so get it. Like they get like this is not better, but it's just different. And to have that many people collectively, contributing to other people, it's no small thing. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, when people walk through that door, regardless of what their political leanings are, the behavior that they do outside of this, whether it's judging or gossiping or whatever else, making it us against them, when they walk through that door, man, it's just if everybody walks in like, and that kind gene within them just starts to like be attracted to other kind genes, and then you have this like this this chemistry, this chemical reaction that starts to go, and then it's just really amplified. And it's just so beautiful the way that everyone looks out for each other in this group. And this is transferable beyond ToBeRe. Like if you look behind me, there's somebody who was inspired to paint this for me. It says sprinkling kindness, right? And that's somebody at the hospital who did the practice with me who did that. And
Hold it up, Keith, so we can see it.
yeah, so let me get to it here. But
Oh man, somebody did that for you?
yeah, somebody did that for me, sprinkling
Oh
kindness.
man, think of the amount of love and intensity that person felt to be touched by you to do that.
Man, thanks, Rick. Yeah.
That's a hell of a thing to see. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. And people do it for me all the time. I mean, my friend Julie, I asked her yesterday to come out and help a beginner with pickleball. She couldn't have been more excited to come out and do it, you know. And this is again, being kind is free, and she was so thoughtful. My friend John, like at the drop of a hat, with a hospital, I can ask him, like, hey, I got these other physicians. I want you to come and like share a little bit with. I mean, this guy's coming right out of a surgery of saving somebody's life, and he's,
Mhm.
making way over there to do that. Just all these kind acts that happen left and right. I'm just so grateful. And most recently, we have this pickleball group to where everybody is literally welcome to come. And I try to match people based upon skill level and things like that. And the people who are not offended by it are people that get like, hey, we want everyone to have a good experience, not just you have a good experience. And some people, may struggle with that. Or some people like, I want to, they don't play this way or whatever else. Then that's cool too. But one person, and she's a sweetheart. Her name is Yolanda, and she goes by Yoli. And so one day when I came to the pickleball court, she just told me like, man, you're just so nice, Keith, and you're so kind. And when I was learning how to play, she's beating the brakes off of me. And she's retired, and she's noticed that I've gotten better. But what she said, but even more than your skill level, it's just how kind you are. So I invited her to come out to play with our group, and she's come out, and she just like, I love your group. I mean, and this woman is sweet as pie, and
Mhm.
she's got a nice accent. I think she's from South America, I think, and she's a beautiful accent. And so she sent me a text yesterday because I ran into her early in the week, and I asked her, hey, you gonna come play pickleball? She's like, am I invited? I'm like, you always invited. And she's like, she's talking about how kind I am, and she sent me a text message yesterday that says, thank you. You are a wonderful teacher. Your group is so blessed to have you. I mean, that's just like it's humbling, man. And like I'm just so grateful to all the people that are consistently kind to me. You being at the top of the list, how thoughtful you are. I mean, just so many people are. I mean, when I was down and out and had nothing financially, there were so many people that lifted me up during that. I mean, Jamie helped me bring me groceries and stuff like that. And people continue to pay ToBeRe. I mean, Amy helped me and Stacy helped me. I mean, the list goes on and on with all the people that have contributed to my life all these years, man. And they were just kind. I mean, with no expectation in between. Like Matt has loaned me money and I've loaned Matt money, man, there's no expectation of ever being paid back. Like we don't even ask. Like another person, like, hey, I got your money. Like, no, it's okay. I mean, it's just it's the. I mean, like the freedom is in the giving. The freedom is in the giving. It's not in the taking. It's in the giving. And so I'm just really grateful, man. Rick, thank you for all the ways that you've been kind to me over the years and continue to be. And what's been one of the ways consistently is how you bless me with what you share during these podcasts. I just so appreciate you, Rick. I love you. Thank you so much for this show.
I love you, Keith. It's totally mutual. I learned kindness in spades from you, man. I tell you, you're a walking example of it. Thank you for having me in your life.
Thank you, Rick. I love you, man.
I love you. Adios.
Adios.